Hello, this is my Ford Fiesta.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we've got a Mark 6 Ford Fiesta Zetec S TDCI. My son's car. He's brought it down, it's got some damage on it, so we're going to try and fix that today. So if you come closer in, you'll see previous owner had some sort of a sticker on here, and as he was pulling it off, he pulled off all the clear coat. As you can see, it's quite damaged underneath, so I'm going to have to re-sand all that, paint it all. As you come along the back quarter panel, there's a dent in here, so it's got to be filled as well, sanded and filled. As you can see down the bottom here in the sill, it's got a couple of dents in it, it's all rusty. He's got a side skirts to put on, but I need to really treat that so the rust doesn't come back. So we're going to spray all that, and same bit under here as well. On the bottom sill, it's had like a bit of damage. And if you come onto the wing, over here, it's just the usual rust around the arches here, but the rest of the wing is fine, so we can save it. So I'm going to sand all this and paint it, and same with this down here. As I said, he's putting a set of side skirts on it, so they will cover the rust at the front, but I just still need to treat it, so we'll do that. We'll come and look at the bonnet. If we've got time today, we're going against the... No. As you can see, with his bonnet as well, he's got loads of deep scratches. I'm going to try and take him out, loads of stone chips up here. So if we've got time today, we're going to sand this and paint it. All depends, going against the weather here. And we'll have the bumper. I'll try to get a new bumper today because it's all cracked. As you can see, there's no point in trying to repair that. So we can't source the bumper, so I might have to leave that at the moment. If I can get one today, then I'll go and get it. As you can see, there's no point in trying to fix that. And these inserts, I'll be getting painted black so it matches the car, so you've got the black theme going on. Same these as well, we've got the chrome inserts there, but I'm not too sure if he's painting them red or if we're going to stay with the black theme. We'll find out in a minute when I ask him. But yeah, so first of all, we're going to get the car into the garage, get the sander on, DA sand along the side, 240 grit, get it ready for primer, and then sand it, base coat, clear coat. Try and get it all done today, if not I'll have to do it tomorrow as well. Alright guys. Washed, wax and grease removered, and I'm going to do it again, just a quick one over it before I start sanding it with the 220, just in case there's any dent on there. I don't want to sand it into the paint itself, so that's what I'm going to do now. Let's get rid of any more contaminants, so I don't want to sand it into the car. So we decided to take a haircut. I can't even speak, man.
So we decided to take the door off. Breathe.
Alright guys, so we decided to take the door off. It's a lot easier than trying to mask it off and stuff. Just mask the inside of the interior. So it's 4 10mm bolts, and then you've got a twist connector here for electrics. Get off the tab. This and shit. You got it? Do you want to take the door? Hold on. Right, oh shit, grab this bit. I thought. You got it?
What are we
doing? You got the car? You got the door?
Yeah. I haven't got all of it, like.
Hold it then. I'm sure you got it.
Wait, are you? Put it down gently.
It's on my feet, it's on my feet. Right, you grab the front, I'll get the back.
Right, have you got that?
Yeah.
The camera's in the fucking way. Wait. I need to put the camera out of the way. Because how? Just lean it. Right.
It's a Fiesta, don't it?
Hug the door.
So we've got the door off now, so all I'm doing is taking up the edge where I'm going to wet sand down to, because I'm going to primer on this area, and this will wet sand down to 800, so I've got a couple of scratches. So once I've done that, I'll be able to cover all of this lot, around the top panel, down to here with base coat, Panther Black, and this will have the primer on it, and that'll get covered in Panther Black as well. Then clear coat. Alright guys, so we're at to the stage now. I've got the car all wrapped up, ready to go. I've got some bare metal patches there that I'm going to spray with edge primer before I do some high build primer on here. The 2K high build primer along the front. And then basically that's what I'm going to do, let it dry out overnight. Tomorrow I'm going to wet sand that. I've already wet sanded the quarter panel over by the roof arch. So then tomorrow I'll blend it in with the Panther base coat. So what I've done now is I've put the edge primer on, 2 coats on the bare metal, so I'll let that dry. In the meantime, I'm going to mix up the 2K high build primer. I'm using Auto Prime, as you can see, it's a 4-to-1 mix. So you get your jug, as you see, you've got 1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1. So we've got 4-to-1 there. So I'm going to mix it up to 2, as you can see down there, and then I'll harden it in up to the next 2. And on this one, you can add 15 to 20% 2K thinners, which is what I will do. And then once that's mixed up, we'll put it in the viscosity cup, and you've got to do 24 to 28 seconds. So what you do is, you'll see what I do, you fill the cup up, and it should take 24 to 20 seconds for it to come out, and then it's a good consistency. So I've mixed this up, so to the 2. There you go. And up to the next 2. I'll add to about 15 of this. So as you can see, next to the 3, you've got a little diagram. It says 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and that's where you'll put in the thinners up to. So if you see my finger is here, that's where I'm mixing it up to. Up to 15, that'll do it. And then if it's too thick when I put it through the viscosity cup, you just add a bit more thinners in it. Okay, so what we're going to do is try and get between 24 and 28 seconds for the primer to come out of the viscosity cup. So 1, 2, 3, go. Obviously if it's like over 24, 28, then we can make it thinner or thicker by adding more thinners or more primer itself. What's in here is the Velvis FOG5. I've got 1.8 primer tip in here, and I've got 1.4 for the base coat and the clear coat. And I'll be spraying this about 23 psi. And what I want to try and get here is like a 6-inch, like a oval type shape, as you can see here, and a couple of testers. I want that kind of shape, and if it's too wet, you can turn down the dials, but that's looking actually okay. Yeah, so we can paint the car now. Alright guys, this is actually the next day now. I've let the primer dry for just less than 24 hours. But it's nice and hard, so what I'm going to do, I've got this light line here. I'm going to wet sand this 800 into the wet sanded of the car itself, blend that in, so then I can do the base coat all the way along. I've got a set of sage kits to put on, so I won't do base coat along here because there's not much point, you're not going to see that, and he's never got to take them off again. So at least it's been treated for the rust and stuff, so that's great there. As I said, the skirts come to about here, and then we'll just basically paint all this black and blend it in here, over there, right along the top and down to there. So yeah, we'll get moving with this. So here we have the front driver's side wing, as you can see from the camera. It's rusty around here, rusty at the bottom of the wing, and also around the arch here. So we're going to sand all this off, and same way here, treat that with etch primer, then go into the full primer on here, and I'm going to wet sand all of this, because this is actually, it's not too bad, it's only got some small scratches, but if I wet sand all this out, go over it with base coat, it'll be fine. So we're going to go now, I'm going to sand all this with 400, 600, and then I'll go into the 800 wet, so I can try and get a nice smooth transition. And same way under here as well, around there. That's it. Change your plan here. As I said, I was going to wet sand the top bit and then just prime in this and then wet sand it here to blend it in for when the base coat on. But as I come around here, there's quite big stone chips. I'm going to have to do a bit of glaze putty on them. So I can't actually wet sand it and then put glaze putty on. So I'm going to put a whole lot in primer, wet sand the primer, put big glaze putty on, then base coat over the top. So that's why I've took it all the way down this time. Right guys, so here we are. Two side skirts. Wet sanded right down, as you can see one's red and one's black. I'm putting the 2K high build primer on, so obviously it's going to cover the black and the red, which is fine. Same with the bump, same with the front fender. On wing if you're from the UK. So what we'll do, I'll just get a bit of wax grease remover on it. So that's all the wax and grease remover done. What I'll do now is I'll mix up some high build primer, same as what I done yesterday, and we'll tack rag it, spray that on, and then we'll leave it in heat to dry. And we'll try and tackle it in the next 3 to 4 hours. I've got the heater on, so we'll try and get the temperature up to like 23 degrees instead of waiting 24 hours. It does say 3 to 6 hours on the tin if you've got a constant temperature. And because I've got the heater in here, hopefully it might be alright, so we'll try that instead of waiting until tomorrow to wet sand it. This is the following day, so what I've done, let the paint dry. I said 3 to 6 hours the night before, last night, but we left it to go all night and then came out this morning. As you can see, I wet sanded it, 800, and then this one's got to dry here. Wax the grease remover it, get it in the tent, and then we're ready for the base coat and clear coat. And at the moment, I'm just wet sanding this. If you come around here, you'll see what I'm doing. So I'm doing, if you cross patch pattern, sorry, then you go that way. Just try and smooth out. You can see it's quite smooth, nice. That's what you want. We'll see in a minute. Do this off. Back down. So you can see you've got that. You want it nice and smooth as you can. And then we'll catch up in a little bit once I've got it in the tent. Sell tappers then, yeah, you can do. As you can see, we've had a nasty reaction. We did sand this down because my son bought this off a guy and he had 2 different colours, a red one and a black one. This was the black one. It had loads of funny material in it. We sanded it all the way down. Wax grease remover and stuff, but even still with the primer it started to crack. So I'm going to sand it down as best as I can, and I've got some plastic primer in a tin, so I'm going to try and spray it in a can and then give it a little tester. And the base coat doesn't stick, and we've got all the way down, like a lot of the way down, to try and get the black, because it is a red skirt, but the black was so thick we kept going down, we couldn't get to the red. Alright guys, here we go in the makeshift spray booth we've got here, 6x3 tent. Well, marquee if you like. Got the car all masked up. Ready to go around here with the face coat. Just need to put a tiny little bit of etch primer on there, which I'll do before this. It's a tiny bit in the corner. Right along the back quarter panel, down there. And I'll put a couple of coats in here first before I go into this, because obviously I need to, because that's grey obviously and that's black, I need to give that so it's like black before I go into this. So like the full car, I'll have maybe 3 coats, 2 on that. And what I'll do now is give it a bit of wax grease remover.
Right, so my dad didn't hear it now, but this is the car finished. Just give you a recap on what's been done. So around this area, all the paint had been peeled off, obviously, but there was like a vinyl sticker. So well, it was me, I peeled it off, and I peeled it right down to the base coat, and it looked awful, and it's been like that for ages. So I brought it down to my dad, he's fixed it, he's got it looking like this, and I couldn't thank him anymore. It's amazing, well done.